Can everybody hear us? Yes? Perfect. Good morning.
So, let's go into 7-figure Black Fridays. Today, Fabian and I are going to talk to you about aggregating data, effective tracking, and then we're going to do some media buying hacks to make your Black Friday 23 extremely epic, bigger than 2022, and basically reveal the things that we see on a daily basis. So in case you want to post some story, you want to type that, or you have questions during the presentation, we put this thing first, not put it at the end. So, guys, we're in front, 34 days away from the biggest 4 days in the entire year for e-commerce brands, also for e-commerce agencies, 34 days away. Just to give you a little bit of data, a little bit of context, only on Shopify 2022, in 4 days, $7.5 billion were generated in sales, and in the peak minute, just in a minute, $3.5 million. Just on Shopify. We're not counting the stores in other platforms. Shopify, 1 minute, $3.5 million. So we're in front of a list, and our goal today is to get you ready for this. So yeah, Black Friday, Cyber Monday 2023, and guys, brace yourself. Black Friday is coming. And for the majority of us, like 90% of media buyers, scaling net ads looks like 1923. Low visibility, crazy bad ROAS, backtracking, and then no account structure, what we're doing Black Friday, how do I push budget to the limit, and we're doing random stuff. So the goal today is to bring you those hacks, bring you visibility for that.
This is, by the way, a picture of Manel, yeah, originally media buying. So,
yeah. To give you those hacks.
Yes, and to give you this, we want to give a little bit structure. What are we doing today? First of all, we start with data from last year. You can take the learnings from the past and put them into the future in a little bit. So we'll look at data from 2022, from OneTrack and from Shopify. Then what we'll do, we have a projection for 2023, yeah, what is happening in our opinion. We go through attribution, because attribution is kind of important to know where the sales are coming from, where to spend your money to scale efficiently. And what we also do then, how do we do it a little bit technically? What is important if you talk about tracking, about attribution? What do you have specifically to look at? Then Manel will take you to the journey of the meta ad account structure. So he'll show you how to structure the ad account, yeah, how to benefit from the stuff on Black Friday. What is the perfect setup for an e-commerce brand? We will do intraday scaling, like how to scale on the day of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, on the whole weekend. By the way, it's called BFCM, yeah, Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. And then we will have 7 hacks for 7 figures. And for everybody who thinks it's just e-com, I will talk also about lead generation, because usually we know it's a little bit more e-com guys in this room, but we also have a part a little bit on lead generation. I brought you data from ourselves, which we aggregated over the last year, and where we can see which platforms are working where very well. So this is what we do in general. And now Manel. Oh, what happened here?
How it's been evolving through the years, to give you an idea. Again, just on Shopify for e-com brands. We went 2019 from 2.9 million to 5.1 in 2020. COVID, everybody at home, was much easier, good times. Then 2021, 6.3 billion, 22, 7.5, and then we're gonna break the 10 billion record.
I think so. Maybe like it's a little bit short, but I think it's possible if we have a good macroeconomic environment. Yeah. Quite sure.
We'll see. So this is the revenue evolution. Here are some articles by Shopify. If you guys just Google Shopify BFCM 2022 article, you will get this. And in there, there are a lot of insights. Just check it out. See the bullet points, good conclusions. And then this is how it looks like on a daily basis. Because now we see here 4 days. Amazing. Let's go into the details. So let's start with days.
Yes. In general, what we want to start with is to look at the days. Which days are generally the most valuable for you when you're running your ads on a Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend? What you can see here, we start on Thursday and go up to the week on Monday, Tuesday. And of course, everybody knows Black Friday is the strongest day of them all. But many of you have usually the questions, should we keep the ads running on a Saturday, on a Sunday? Yeah? And what do we do with the Monday? How important is it? And as you can see, the Monday is usually like 60 to 70% of the Friday. It's depending a little bit on the branches, yeah, on your branch, what you are doing with your business, having cosmetics business, or if you do selling bicycles or something like that, yeah. And as we can see here, usually the maximum spend we see, which is tracked from our platform, this means it's not only Shopify, there are also WooCommerce and like Shopware clients and stuff, is that you can see, okay, Black Friday has the peak, and then you let the ads run in a retargeting on a Saturday, on a Sunday, and on a Monday you scale up again. But this is also important, not just on a daily basis, but what you also have to see is what happens on an hourly basis. Yeah? And this is the hourly graph. When is it for you the most profitable, yeah, to spend your ad budget? Think of this as an average. Yeah? Some start already very early at 4 p.m. in the afternoon and go to 11 p.m., but mostly it's like 6 p.m. This is over all time zones, over all markets globally, what we can track, like it's mainly US market and Europe market. And what you can see here, you have the peak hours in the morning. Yeah, so why is that? People wake up, they go to social media, they see, oh, it's Black Friday, what's happening there? So I want to buy something. So that's the first wave you see usually from 9 to like or 10 to 1 o'clock. And then people usually go to work because it's a Friday. And in the evening, when they come home, they're like, oh, it's Black Friday, and the discounts are running out, you know? So the people come back and buy then. So the strongest hours are from 6 to 23 p.m., yeah? And this is the way you should ride basically the wave, but you will talk later about that, I think. Yes, and here I just summed up for you the databases a little bit, what we tracked, what we do, what we take our learnings from. Yeah, this is actually ad tracking data from OneTrack from 2022. Yeah, so basically we have over a billion revenue tracked. We have also like kind of a 4 ROAS, as you can see, because we have 250 million in ad spend. Yeah, and just that you get a feeling how much data is going through when you just do media buying and ad buying.
So a little bit more data from 2022. Just this from the articles, you will see. I can save you a little bit of time. So the record sales per minute on Shopify. When did this happen? Because this is important. Where are you going to push the budget? This happened 12:01 midday in Miami and 6 p.m. in Europe. Yeah, Western Europe. Countries that shot the most, in case you scale with Big 5 and everything, we have US, UK, and Canada, and then 31% of customers basically bought before Black Friday Cyber Monday, which means we all, in your structure, we're going to start early. We're not going to wait till Friday to just start pushing. Start early, otherwise you're going to lose like 30% of the market. That being said, how's 2023 looking like? What is the projection? I was in a webinar by Meta, and they were putting all these little data here. So you see here the graph, 2022, how this is overall, not only Shopify, overall retail e-commerce sales down by 2022 a little bit, yeah? And then look at 2023, the projection is a 3% growth. Now I'm going to show you the reasons why, but this is positive. Black Friday 2023, looking good so far. What about inflation? What about consumer expectation? Inflation is easing, you see it here. Inflation is easing in Europe. Yeah. Consumer confidence remains low, but it's a good thing. It's not like 2022, we had war, we had crazy inflation, everybody's a little bit more careful. And then you see in the US here, we go from 8% inflation rate in 2022 to 3.7. It's really good news for people to consume more. And then, we have these crazy numbers, 7.5 billion, yeah, we're gonna crush it, all of us, and then as media buyers, we're gonna face little things like these, outcome blocks, ROAS number 1 in the platform, competitors, attribution windows, all these things, exactly how we're using iOS 14 and GDPR. But let's start from the beginning, and then we're going to get deep into this. What is attribution, Fabian?
Yes, so basically, when we start and look at data, we always have 2 perspectives. First of all, we have to understand that there is tracking, and then there is attribution. Tracking is usually the process of just collecting the data, yeah? And attribution is making sense of that data. This means, for example, you connect the real data you collected to an ad channel, an ad campaign, an ad set, an ad, yeah? And the connection between real track data and these ad channels is called attribution. What's the main difference for that? The main difference for attribution is basically that it's not like a objective view. Data is always objective. Yeah, it's there or it's not there, it's clear or it's not clear. But attribution is, for example, having a certain perspective on the data. For example, you can look at so-called first clicks. Yeah, this is called attribution models, last clicks and stuff. You can look at attribution windows. And this is very important to understand because from our practice, what we see in the everyday business, most of the people have no clue at all, yeah, how to use attribution windows, attribution models. And so I will jump just quickly in and explain it to you so you can have a look at it. The most important things, like I said, are attribution models and attribution windows. Who heard about this? Just give me a hand raise. Okay, like a small portion. Perfect. So I will just briefly explain it. First of all, what are attribution models? Attribution models are the certain perspectives. Like, for example, you have a multi-touch point journey. Yeah? Who knows what a multi-touch point journey is? Okay, perfect. Whose customers are buying on the first try when they come to your web shop? Almost nobody. Yeah, I thought so. So what you have to do, you have to look at the touch points. So you have to know which journey is the customer going before he buys my product, before he becomes a lead. And these multiple touch points can have several ad platforms. For example, we have a customer, our Tony Stark. Yeah? Tony Stark wants to buy a rocket. And Tony Stark comes as a page view from an ad account. He comes from Facebook and looks at your page or your online shop. Then he leaves again. 2 weeks later, he opts in for the newsletter because it's very nicely written, yeah, by the king of the Avengers. Then he comes back, opts in. So we have an email address and a name maybe. 2 weeks later, yeah, Tony comes via a Google ad, and another 2 weeks later, Tony decides to buy. So we have a whole customer journey, which is around like 6 to 8 weeks. And Tony came over 4 different touch points. And for this, we have to understand that there is a multi-touch attribution. So you have to be aware what are these touch points. Because otherwise, you cannot efficiently spend your budget and you cannot increase exactly, okay, this works on cold traffic, this works on warm traffic, this works in the middle of funnel. But I will explain you this in detail later when we go on this. Attribution models, I will show you. In general, there's like different numbers of attribution models. Mainly important are 4 to 5. And we will go after this briefly through them. Attribution windows. Attribution windows sounds more complicated than it is. Imagine Tony has his 6 weeks, he buys in the end. So now you can decide, do I look back from this 6 weeks? 1 day, 7 days, 2 weeks, all 6 weeks, or even half a year or something? And this is an attribution window. This is the time frame where all the touch points happen where you want to look at. Everybody understand it? Okay, perfect, nice, thank you. So, attribution models, what is happening? The big 4 or 5, I will give them to you. First of all, you have a first click attribution. First click means the value of the sale or the entrance, the lead opt-in is attributed completely, yeah, to the first touch point, as you can see. The first touch point you can measure and track. This is where the whole attribution goes. Then there is exactly the reversed model. So what we have is also a last click. A last click does mean everything gets attributed to the last touch point before the person converted or become a lead, whatever there is, yeah? Whatever your conversion is, lead or purchase. Then there is a little bit more even attribution models, for example, linear. This means if you have a sale, for example, for 100 euros, and you have, in this case, 4 touch points, or 5, depends. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every touch point gets an even share of that shopping experience, of that purchase. This means, in this case, if you have 5 and you have 100, every touch point is worth 20 euros. Everybody understands? Perfect. Then we can go a little bit more complicated from this on. Then there is time decay attribution models. Time decay means that you have the further back a touch point is in time, the less amount of attribution value it gets. This means if Meta was the first touch point, and in the end, in the middle was Google, and in the end there was maybe direct traffic from Shopify, yeah, because he Googled your store, the last step becomes a little bit more over time, so it's growing. So you can see, okay, where it's coming from. Then there's also a quite new one, it's called reverse time decay. It's just the same thing turned around. the further back a touch point is in time, the more value it gets. The most important thing is, in my opinion, the U-shaped one. Who ever used a U-shaped attribution model in his life? Okay, we have one person. 2, 3, 4, very nice. U-shaped attribution models are the best usually because they show the most value in the first click and the last click. So you know where the traffic is coming from and which campaigns, which platform is converting in the end. So you have a big U, as you can see. This means usually in a U-shaped form, if you have a purchase of 100 euros, 40% go to the last click, 40% go to the first click, and the remaining 20% are split evenly in the middle. Yeah? And I know this is quite a lot from our attribution models. If anybody has specific questions, just talk to me later. I'm happy to help. Yeah? And now we go from attribution models to attribution windows. Like I said before, attribution windows can be set by you individually. You can say 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 180 days, 60 days, 45 days. This is what you can usually set up if you have all your data in place. So you can look back in certain amounts and you will figure out how long is your customer sales process. Usually it depends on the e-commerce shop. If you sell very expensive bicycles, for example, like e-bikes, you have a conversion time probably of like 6 to 12 weeks, maybe even longer, like 16 weeks. And if you sell like a cosmetic product or a perfume, usually your conversion time is between 7 or 14 days. So it's much shorter. It depends on the product price, you know, how is the customer journey, how long will the customer take, yeah, to be ready to buy. What we will do now is a little bit answer questions, and like I will ask you, which platforms are working well? Everything you will see now is aggregated data from us, from OneTrack, and what you will see is you will see different outcomes. What I want to do is to give you a brief look on data, because most of the people in media buying, they ignore the data at all, because most of the time it's not correct. Yeah? And the problem is with this, that you cannot scale. If you don't have clear data, you cannot scale. You cannot work with the data. And what I want to do with this exercise a little bit and show you the real numbers, these are the numbers from 2022 and 2023, they're mixed a little bit. I want to show you where to use which platform, which kind of campaign using, how to look at data, yeah? And don't make it too complicated. If anybody has a question, just raise the hand quickly or ask it afterwards. And the first thing I wanted to show you, in general, how to generate clicks, because the click is the first important conversion a person does. He sees an ad, he clicks on it, and here we're comparing Google and Meta. And as you can see, you will see the pattern. We always compare from day 1 to day 365. So we want to look at a whole year if possible, yeah, and extrapolate it also on a whole year. And in this case, you can see the average click from Meta. There are many more than if you have an average click from Google, for example. You know, the average clicks from Google are quite low, yeah, in the beginning, and because of that, they're also more expensive. We come to this, and this is true in general for e-com and for lead generation. We see this consistently over hundreds of clients in different markets, different branches. We tested it with cosmetic, we tested it with like selling bicycles and guys with high ticket sales and guys with low ticket info products, you know? So this is a general picture I'm giving you. Of course, there's usually like some exceptions, but like I said, if you want to know if it's working for your niche or something, just ask me. In this case, what we can take from this is Meta does a better job of generating clicks when campaigns are first created. So for cold audiences, and if you start a journey, it does not always make sense to have a high Google campaign or high spending Google campaign in the beginning. It usually makes sense first to set up a Meta campaign, and then I will show you later what to do. So also for leads, like I said before, usually leads are opt-ins, yeah? That's what we define as leads. Everybody know what leads are? Yeah, quite? Okay, good, perfect. So it's very important to understand what is the engagement of them, because a lead is not good. You have to have an engaged lead, because an engaged lead is a warm lead, and a warm lead is easier to sell. Yeah? And Meta is really good, what we see, in re-engaging the customers if they have, for example, if they're undecided, if they don't know what to do. yeah, elite opt-in, send them another retargeting over Meta. This is mostly top of the funnel business. Re-engaged lead attribution model, average revenue campaign. Now we know, okay, like we said before, what is the best way to re-engage and what's the average revenue? Because it's not also important that you have a warm lead. You have to have also a lead which is converting and leaving money in your business or in your client's business. So if you see here, this is basically, in general, true for lead generation and a little bit also for e-com. We can see in the beginning, the average revenue of a customer is very low. Do we have a laser pointer, by the way? Ah, yeah, nice. We have here a quite low revenue in average for a customer. And it's growing, of course, usually in the user base over time. And as you can see, if we jump from day 1 to day 365, you can see the green bar, which is email, yeah, is going very dominantly. And it's also starting here in day 14 because the value of a lead is 0 if you just give them a white paper or a PDF or something. So what you have to do is like see that you can reconvert it, yeah, and get the average revenue up, because what the people do is like they read your stuff, they keep engaged. That's why email is working. Same is true for WhatsApp, but not many people are using WhatsApp funnels, so we choose the email here. Also interesting, the yellow bar, organic. Organic is mainly not so important down here, but you can see the organic part where everybody says, oh, it's not bringing really revenue, we cannot see it. The organic part gets very important over the long time, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and up to a year. Why is that? The people read your email, the people see your stuff, and then they want to connect with you. So they come in. We never say that organic is very good for lead creation in the beginning, yeah, because it's more like hopeful marketing, but it's very good in the end of supporting, yeah, of giving like a little lift to your paid marketing efforts. Opa, now we jump. Sorry. Yes, so also important, what are the average leads per campaign you're running? Which platform is working better? Clearly to see, Meta is in generally, from the raw amount in average leads per campaign, always higher than Google. This does not mean Meta is always better than Google. We will see that later on. Yeah? So usually Meta campaigns are generating a lot more leads. Average lead conversion, yeah, is basically diverted for us. They leave a telephone number, a first name, an email. Yeah? It's a little bit high in this case because we just use very good converting funnels. Good converting for us is people who make with this funnel $1 million plus, because we don't want to have untested funnels in it. So you see, usually when the funnels are tested, you have quite high conversion rates in the lead base. And what you can see here, also over time, Meta converts clicks into leads in a higher rate than Google. This means get the Meta ads out and then reconvert on Google a little bit. What we also see in general, that the average lead conversion rate from Google is not usually that high, especially in the beginning. Who ran YouTube ads and they were not working for a lead funnel already? Anybody? Okay, good. The thing is, in general, if you run lead ads, yeah, on Meta and Google, it's usually more for supporting the Meta channels. It's the same effect like you have in e-commerce. Then we had now the leads, but leads are not so important in general than customer acquisition costs. Customer acquisition costs are what it means to get a buying customer. This is not lead cost, this is customer acquisition cost. This means the guy bought a product from you and you have the revenue in your bank account. And as you can see, in general, the customer acquisition costs on Meta are quite low, yeah, and on Google quite high. They go down over time, because the accounts have more data, they have more ability to scale better. And you can see, yeah, also if your sales is getting more efficient, they can drop quite significantly in a lead funnel. Now we jump to e-com. What's working for e-com? What is e-com doing? In e-com, you can generally see that e-commerce sales are more over time. What is the big effect here? Usually what we see, we have our clients, they're running Meta and Google ads. And the problem is they're turning off the meta ads because the meta ROAS is just 1.2. They turn them off and they spend everything on Google. PMax, full force. Problem is, depending on the budget, 14 to like 21 days after, suddenly the Google prices rise and Google sales go down. Why is that? Anybody an idea? Exactly. Because what people don't see, because they look usually at just UTM parameters, and they have one touch point with this, they look back one touch point, maximum 2 touch points, but the meta touch point is usually back probably like 4 or 5 touch points in the past. And what we can see, for example, from our data, that a lot in e-commerce is Facebook generates from cold audiences, yeah, the leads, so to speak, the page views, the awareness for the brand. And then people are using a PMax campaign, yeah, in the back end from Google, and they get attributed everything because they are the last click. Google is retargeting only, and this is what we can clearly see over all customers. This was crazy data when we saw it. Last click attribution model, average customer lifetime value. This means from the comparison of platforms, who are the more valuable customers for you? The more valuable customers are usually coming a little bit from Google. Yeah? Because why is it so? Same like the sales. Google is pull marketing, Facebook is push marketing. This means when people usually interact with Google, yeah, not just in the keywords, yeah, also in the searches from YouTube and co, you can see they're searching for a specific problem, so they have already a kind of a problem awareness, so they're a little bit higher in the consciousness level of the problem. So it's very easy for you to see why it's a little bit higher. Not more data to come, just a little bit. Another thing, average revenue per customer. Which has the most average revenue per customer over time? I just included this because it's very interesting to see that you have a very high average customer rate, revenue per customer, after 1 year from the organic channels, because they come organic. You know, the people, they like you, they are fans, so they buy a lot of them when they come from the organic channels. Yeah, this is average revenue per customer, not on an absolute basis. And what you can see also, Meta is usually working, then email comes in, like we see before, and then it's getting more and more important how your brand is built, how you talk to the customer on an everyday basis in your Instagram stories, on your pages, with your LinkedIn stuff. And so always check that you do the supporting measure as soon as you have an ad spend probably of 15, 20K, yeah? Start a little bit with professional brand awareness on your Instagram accounts and stuff. And that's it from the data side so far. I'll just give you a little bit also the key takeaways from this. I just group it by platform. First of all, Google. Google, slower ROI, more expensive, but in broadly speaking, also better quality. PMax in last click, in our thing, what we can see in e-commerce, is the best what you can do when you have a cold campaign on Meta before. Facebook in general, more volume, less expensive, more quantity, so you get more people in, yeah? You can educate them via email, via social, organic channels, like I said before. And it's also very good for re-engagement. Google is not as well like in re-engagement of leads. It's better to use for the PMax campaigns retargeting in e-commerce. So this is what you can take away from this. And if you look at this, you can also take a picture if you want. Organic and Meta are best for brand awareness in top of the funnel. Meta is dominating lead generation. These are just generally things speaking. Email is best middle of funnel and lead engagement to buy, yeah, to get them converted into sales. And Google in general, speaking of all ad platforms, has the highest increase from value in customers over time. So this is basically what you can see here. And for this, how to do it is very easy. How do you get all this data? How you can see these touch points? How do you work with them? I just go quickly through this, how a tracking solution should look for you, that you have a brief idea what you look for if you go shopping in the market, for example. So first of all, you should have a collection of data. This means you need to take in all the data. Then you have like a transforming process in the middle, which creates a customer profile. And in the end, you have to give this data to the ad platform. Collection means if you're using a metapixel, yeah, which is having like 14 data points at most, use maybe some additional software. Yeah, choose freely. I'm not just pitching us. Look in the market what's fitting for you, what's working there. Yeah. If you come to us, of course, we're happy, but collect more data. The more data you have, the more you can optimize quite quick. Then you collected all the data. Now you have to put the data into one customer profile. You have to be sure that this guy is interested in the product. You have to know it's Manel, first name, last name Gomez, with the email address of manelgomez.com, yeah, is interested in brown t-shirts. Because it doesn't matter for you if it's like a different guy. It has to be the guy. You have to retarget Manel later on and not anybody, or find people like Manel. Then you have to give, in this retargeting, or like in general, you have to give the data back to the platform. This means you have to have a post-back solution. Who knows what a post-back solution is? Anybody using it? Yeah, 4 or 5? Okay. Post-back means you give data to Facebook, you give data to Google, you give data to TikTok, and they can use it to optimize with their algorithms. This sounds a little bit technical, but this is basically what happens every day. You run ads, you generate data, the data is fed back to the ad platforms, and then they optimize on the data to find the better and perfect customers for you. Yeah? And this is very important to do because otherwise the ad platform doesn't have the data to operate on. Very important part. And now we're going from this, how to use it now, all of the stuff I talked about, the Meta platforms, the ad accounts, yeah, how to structure them in Meta for Black Friday. What is the hands-on experience? And Manel, this is your part, so I will take it over. And I hope you can use it for your benefit.
So, Meta advertising during Black Friday. I'm gonna go, it's a lot of slides, so it's gonna be bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, and then I would ask you to check the presentation and you apply it to your own specific case. But I just come from giving, well, cool picture from Mark. So this is how we're gonna look like in Black Friday media buying like crazy. Last week I did a workshop about meta media buying in Black Friday. It took 7 hours. So now today in 10 minutes, I'm trying to give you as much as possible. I'm not gonna be able to develop it. So later on you can chat. I have this product, I'm selling this. How would you structure this? So meta basics, first things first, please do not test in Black Friday. We don't test in Black Friday. The only variable in Black Friday is how much can I push. So the testing we do before. Either you start on the 13th, on the 19th, or on the 1st of November with Black Friday offers. That's the testing phase. As soon as the 23rd hits, the day before Black Friday, we start pushing like crazy, all right? So it's all about how much we can push. 2 phases everybody's gonna have in their Black Friday campaigns. So again, I'm assuming you start in between the 13th and the 19th. 13th would be, I'm doing Black Friday early deals. So you start on the 13th. And 19th is, I'm doing Black Week, all right? So imagine you do that until the 23rd. That's your testing period. That's when you get started with the offers. You don't care that much if it's scaling like crazy to 50K a day in ad spend or not. And then where the money is made is 23rd to 27th, which is the weekend of Black Friday. So goal in the first period, find out what works. What are your winning creatives? What's the winning offer? What's the winning landing page in case you're doing A/B testing with a testing tool in Shopify? Find out what works, and then find out how do you scale the things that work. Is Advantage Plus or CBO working best for me? You gotta find that out, okay? Just for structure. The launching structure, this is summer sales campaign that I did for a client, same thing. You start with prospecting, the thing down below, this is your testing campaign. ABO, 1 ad per ad set, go aggressive, testing, testing, testing. Retargeting, you do broad and hot, so do both of those, and then in there you choose 3 to 5 ads, put those in the ad sets, easy. And then Advantage Plus, why do I start with Advantage Plus is if I'm not scaling yet, this thing works with AI, doesn't work with machine learning, so theoretically Advantage Plus knows who the target is before you spend the money, which means, and I've experienced it, they start working pretty fast. So I would recommend you the day of launch, you launch with this. Then things to figure out during this period, winning ad creatives, winning cost caps, Advantage Plus versus CBO, and then you test a little bit of wave surfing that I'm gonna talk about in a minute. This, first block. Second block, massive scale. But you need this to then go confidently on Friday and be like, I'm gonna spend as much as possible, I'm gonna go crazy. 24th to 27th, rules. You keep all the winners that you already have from the previous period. We don't turn things off because it's like general Black Friday and I wanna have specific Black Friday ads. No.
The learning phase is more important than having the perfect message for Black Friday. The only thing that I will launch as extra the day of Black Friday is urgency ads. So ads that include some type of push, last 24 hours, last chance, today only, etc. This I'm gonna launch, but this is the only thing. I'm not testing new stuff the day of Black Friday. I come test it from home, all right? Then, yeah, that is it. Also in retargeting. Well, let's develop it a little bit more. What I'm gonna do in this phase as scaling is you have your ABO testing, cool. Imagine you have 5 winners. What would I do? What I'm gonna do is an Advantage Plus with the winners, 100%, and then push aggressively there. And then what worked for me the best last year is overbidding cost cap CBOs, which means put your winners in a CBO, one ad set is enough. You put an overbidding cost cap, which means the cost cap is over your price. If you're selling at 100, the cost cap is 120. Only with winner ads that have engagement, have learning, and then you take the risk to overbid to crush your competitor in the auction. So basically you want to win the auction by bullying the competitors with overbidding cost caps. Best thing ever. And I have ad sets that I can show you later at 150 cost caps with 30, 40 CPA. It's really crazy. And for periods with massive competition, that's what you need. On the other side, how do you do intraday scaling during these 4 days? Extremely important. Wave surfing is how I call it. That's myself doing it at night every hour, every 01, so 701, 801, I'm refreshing. Shopify revenue per hour, ads manager, ad spend per hour. I'm comparing and I'm saying ROAS. Am I good? Am I on KPIs? Yes, push. Not? Okay, back down a little bit. That's what I'm doing on an hourly basis. And this is how it looks like. These are my waves on Shopify. No wave, big push. Shit, push. Same thing here. This is exactly Black Friday 2022. I'm not gonna push. Here I push like crazy. And you see the same thing with the ad spend. What's on the right, it's the hourly ad spend in a report by Meta. If you have the ads manager on the right, just click reports, custom report. You put here time of day, ad account time zone, something like this, and amount spent. You see it hourly, and then you order it. And then you're gonna see that on the low hours, I'm spending 600, 700 per hour. But then in the peak hours, I get to 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 2,500, 3,000, 5,000, and then I downscale. So this is the way how I can maximize ad spend in 1 day. If you tell, or even tell me or tell the client, hey, today we're gonna spend 30K, they're gonna be like, no way, we're not spending that. How can I commit to so much money? I mean, some of you may be spending even more than this and it's crazy, but the client is not gonna tell you, yeah, spend the 30K. You don't know. So I go based on market feedback. Market feedback responds well. Am I having good ROAS? Yes, push. Not good ROAS? I don't push. That's the benefit of managing this on an hourly basis. Here you can take a picture if you want. This is what I was doing every single hour in Black Friday. And this is what I would recommend you do. My wave starts more or less at 4 p.m. And you see 4 p.m. the revenue was 7K. Yeah? 5 p.m. I see 10.5. And I'm like, okay, this is getting started. Should I push the budget? Probably yes, by 5. So you see here the budget, by 5, I'm going from 950, 1,000, 1,300. There's already some increase. And then I go on an hourly basis like this. Blended ROAS KPI for this brand was a 4. So if I'm over 4, I'm perfect. So, and they spend mostly on Meta. So this calculation is easy to do. If you do 50-50, later I can tell you how to set the blended ROAS carefully. Then, check this out. I go from 1,300, 16, 19, 25, 32, 5. Was I profitable in the specific hour of 5K? Not really, 2.9. I risked it too much, I fuck it up. But what happens? I'm doing hourly management, so there's no problem. I can push it to the limit, I can risk it, and if I have a bad hour, on the next hour I correct it, I hit a 7.61, and overall in the day, 4.4. But I'm gonna ask you, what if the 5K is well absorbed by Meta? They spend a lot, and the customers reply to it, respond to it very good. And that hour you make 20K. So the thing is, you have to go to that limit to see where's the limit, where's the maximum revenue you can make per hour. If you don't, and you say, you know, usually we spend 1K in Black Friday, if we spend 8, we're successful. Or why not 20? How do you know? Like, just go based on market feedback. Another example with lower budget. So this brand we made 17K, 17, 16K, yeah? And this is the peak, this is like the wave. Usually on Friday for everybody it's gonna look like this. Maybe a little peak at 12, but it's gonna look like this. This is what I was doing. Did I fuck it up also? Yes. So, but the day was good. So we spent 4K, they made 17, they're happy. This is start of the day. This is Shopify. This is ad spend per hour. Ad spend per hour at the start of the day, 80, 90 an hour, chilling. And then on the limit, I get to 800 per hour. Yeah? And then on the limit, we go from 200, 400 to 2.2, 2.3K. So you see, there are 2 bad hours here, but the rest is really good. So overall on the day, we earn a blended ROAS above 4. If it was absorbed, it would have been crazy. The mistake here was not correcting at 10 p.m. and I waited until 11. 11 is a massive mistake on my own, but I make the mistake and nothing extremely bad happens. And that's the reason why I tell you, this is super conservative media buying. You're not taking a massive risk of like, I don't want to spend so much. Just check it on an hourly basis. Am I profitable? Yes, no, and just correct. It's super easy, nobody does it. Just do it. To scale intraday, 5 quick rules, yeah? Know your waves. I can explain about this later. You basically go on Shopify, analyze last year, analyze Black Friday, find your patterns, and you see my sales peak 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Cool, that's where I'm gonna do the wave surfing. Yeah, so find your pattern, questions to ask for profitability, basically find your minimum tolerable ROAS in platform and blended, and then find the ones that you're looking for. Just have the ceiling, yeah, roof and ceiling, and with that you go into the wave surfing, but clear numbers. Then you have to go with winners. There's no testing on Friday. That's the reason. Like we're risking it in budget, don't risk it in budget, and also in creatives, not knowing what works. So yeah, winning at creatives. Please put engagement, which is number 5, I think, or 6. We'll talk about engagement in a minute. Urgency phase fully implemented. We had a CRO masterclass in this mastermind that I had for Black Friday. We have to push urgency to the limit. How many people are watching that product at the moment? How many units left? How many time left they have? And Black Friday is just 1 day. Black Weekend is 2 days. Cyber Monday is 1 day. So you have no excuse to not be putting countdowns everywhere, on email, on organic, on the website header, below the add to cart, everywhere to push people to buy. The desire to buy is there. Everybody's with the credit card. Yeah, I wanna buy, I wanna buy, I wanna buy. Just push them. They need like the little extra incentive. So discount plus urgency, and you scale aggressively. So these are things you need to be able to do the wave surfing as well. Hourly management, yeah, that is it. Every 0.5, you push. 0.5 or 0.1, you push. You check the metrics, push. Clear KPIs, winning ads, winning way to scale those, and push. 7 hacks for 7 figures, super quick, A+ SC campaigns. Everybody knows Advantage Plus, yeah? So A+ SC campaigns, this is something new that's coming. Meta is releasing this on the 31st of October. You see it here. This is the most interesting thing for me. So cost per result goal for A+ CS thing. Basically, you're gonna be able to do manual bidding with AI. So Advantage Plus is AI, and now with this A+ thing, you're gonna be able to put cost caps on this. I love cost caps, I love Advantage Plus. If I have the combination of it, gonna destroy Black Friday. So this is gonna be releasing on the 31st of October. Next Thursday, I go to the Meta offices in Madrid. So I'll try to bring like a report or a Loom video for everybody sharing what I learned from this. And once I start launching, I can also share. I'll put it on Instagram as well, but I can put it on the WhatsApp group. Irresistible offer, don't do 15% off site-wide, just do up to 40, so big discount sounds like a deal, and put something extra. Up to 40 plus free shipping, up to 40 plus free gift, whatever. And here, when you check the presentation, you have ad copy ideas that you can use that actually hook people in. It's like, looks like a deal. I wanna look smart by buying this. Push urgency to the limit, place to put it, yeah? Hack number 4, minimize the CPM. 4 things, customer feedback score. Increase it, number of rejected ads. Nobody does this. If you have 50 rejected ads, go into the account and clean them. The way you do it is you go into the rejected ad, put a neutral picture, put a neutral copy, relaunch, spend €1, turn off. And then it's already fixed. So Meta is thinking, oh wow, this is such a good client that they're correcting the things that were rejected. Amazing, thank you so much. And then just do that and the CPM is gonna go down because you have less rejected ads. Increase engagement rate in your ads, basically reply to all comments and tell your team to put some comments in there. Super necessary, auto placement and broad audiences. Next one, how do you increase the engagement rate in the ad? What you do in this case is, what I'm gonna do, the brand is gonna put the first comment. So the first comment can come from the customer support person. It's like, hey, it's Maria. If you have any questions, just drop them here. And you have the first comment from the brand, and then everybody's replying to that comment. Hey, what are the sizes? Hey, what are the returns? Maria is refreshing that URL every single day and replying to this. Facebook's gonna see this and gonna be like, oh, in my social platform, I love my users and my users love this ad because everybody's putting comments. I'm gonna decrease the CPM and show this more. If you have 0 comments, Facebook doesn't have an incentive to display your ad to everybody. So First 5 comments by your team or by loyal customers, just send them the link, put a comment, put a fire emoji, whatever, easy. And then you reply every single comment with a question. Somebody puts, hey, what are the sizes? Sizes are these, which one's your favorite? Sizes are these, what color do you like? Whatever, put a question there so you make them reply again and you increase the engagement rate. Almost last one, really good hack. Launch your Christmas ads on the 24th of November. We don't launch it on December 1st. That's going to be a massive mistake because then you have to restart the whole ad account. We launch on November 24th, and if you don't want to put Christmas, just to put holidays offer, whatever that's going to be useful for you in Christmas. And then we get the ads out of the learning phase, validated, fantastic on the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, and then we just give continuity to this. I don't restart the ad account on December 1st. Massive mistake, takes you a week to get started, and then it's too late to scale. Last one, overbidding cost caps to dominate the auction. You have to test this. Pick a winner ad, 4 ad sets, 2 overbidding cost caps, 2 underbidding cost caps. Figure out what works for you. We can talk about this later. Probably the overbidding close to your price is going to work really good. And then if you figure out, if you can have my biggest thing for Black Friday, winning ad creatives that have likes and comments, and then you figure out what overbidding cost cap works for you. You get that in a CBO, manage this on an hourly basis, you completely destroy your campaign. And this is what you can get with proper attribution windows, proper attribution models, winning ad creatives, overbidding cost caps and stuff. 700K in order value tracked by the platform, 196 tracked by the platform. This is pushable, this ROAS is not pushable. Same thing in this case, 2.12 I can push, 1.6 I'm not gonna push, and in this case it's 2.7 million tracked by platform. So yeah, crazy results, and wish you the best, guys, for Black Friday. Let's do a couple of takeaways before this. Yourself, and then I go myself.
Yes, perfect. So from my side, what's the key takeaway? If you just have one thing to take from all the data we see, all the things I said, think in e-commerce, Meta cold audiences first, Google PMAX last click campaigns, so you have both in place. And if you go for Meta and lead, always use Meta to get cold traffic in, lead generation, and then use social to convert them, to get them to the next level, to get them to buying customers. So Manel, what's your key takeaway?
Make sure you're testing before Black Friday, so before the 23rd, figure out what works for you. Overbidding cost caps, A+ SC, I'm gonna bring you more details about it. Manage the budget on an hourly basis, and then just push to the limit. So that's everything. Thank you so much.